Governor Laura Kelly ordered all schools in the state closed for the remainder of the school year. This is the latest move to prevent the spread of the virus in the state. Right now, I'm joined by Marcus Baltzell. He's with the Kansas National Education Association. This is really unprecedented, Marcus. Walk me through this.
Yeah, sure. Well, as Governor Kelly mentioned today in her press conference, what we have here is all of the education organizations from throughout Kansas, certainly the Kansas National Education Association representing teachers, the Kansas Association of School Boards, United School Administrators, and the School Superintendents Association, working collaboratively with the governor's office, support this move to keep our students and staff and citizens throughout the state of Kansas safe, and to have an understanding that learning must continue and will continue through the efforts of a task force that's going on right now through the Department of Education, where teacher experts from throughout the state are working to build a continuous learning model for students moving forward.
And what does that continuous learning even begin to look like?
Well, that's a great question, and the simple answer is we don't know exactly what it looks like yet. We have a Wednesday deadline to come up with recommendations that we're going to give back to the Commissioner of Education, Dr. Randy Watson. The Department of Education will then formulate what that actual model looks like. It'll be some sort of a hybrid model where we have some distance learning going on, where we have some some other avenues to make sure that kids are able to kind of bridge the gap back to this high quality education that Kansans know that's part of our state. Quite frankly, that's our goal, is to move back in that direction. Look, the simple fact is learning in Kansas has changed, and certainly throughout our nation, and quite frankly throughout the world, things have changed, and they're not going to look the same, exactly the same ever again. But we want to get back to where we're providing the best education possible for our students.
Now, you have to understand, when the governor made this announcement, parents who were streaming or catching this on our broadcast said, wait a minute, what? What am I going to do with my children for the next 2 months? What would you say to give them some sort of, just consolation, really ease their minds?
Well, what I'd say is a couple things. First of all, what they're going to do is they're going to be keeping their kids safe. That's number one, and that's number one on the list of priorities for all of those agencies and advocates involved in this decision. And certainly what's in the best interest of citizens and what's on the mind of our governor. The second thing is that the Kansas Department of Education, with all of these organizations, with all of the expert educators involved, are going to be unveiling this continuous learning model, which will include a number of resources, a number of activities and things that parents and kids can engage in at home to keep that learning going.
All right, Marcus Baltzell with the Kansas National Education Association, thank you so much for your time. Well, we've got a reminder for you: for the latest coronavirus news, as well as updates on schools and prevention policies, go to kshb.com. You can also find all of that information on our free mobile apps and on our scrolling ticker at the bottom of your screen.